NCTV45, The Train, anytime on your time.
You know, I always wanted to do this. Live from Newcastle, it's the J&J Show.
Featuring, Angelo Perrotta, the man, the myth, the legend, with NCTV and 450 on the radio side, yes?
That's it.
Why'd you have to look? You've been doing this for how many years now? You look,
Hey,
it's NCTV45.
You know, sometimes you get a little stuna here.
A little stunad. Hey, no, but I'm glad that you're back. I'm glad that you're working with us because it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Hey, before we get started, okay, here's what I want to ask you. Where did this all come from? Now, again, we went to school together, and then you went to Duquesne University. I went to Hiram, a couple degrees. You have degrees, okay, who cares? Now, let's fast forward to when did you say to yourself, you know what? I think I'd like to start a radio and TV station. I was just thinking about that.
When one of my students got hit.
Really?
It ticked me off. See, I'm a very easygoing guy.
Yeah.
I get up in the morning.
Oh, that's okay.
Just like that.
That's all right. That's okay. We're good. We're good because I'm going to do this,
See,
and that's it.
People call in all the time.
All the time for the show. Okay? But go ahead.
I get up in the morning and through the 70s and 80s, I'd turn on, and they say this, music is the soundtrack of your life.
Right.
I used to say that. So I'd have the radio on, and very melodious. There wasn't, I hit your mom and I beat
Like
a
today.
cop, and
Like today.
very melodious, well thought out lyrics. And I'd just sail through my morning, and, my good friend Gary West would be, I knew what time it was. I didn't even have to look at the clock. I could tell by as I went through my morning, then I'd go to school or work or what have you. And when we got married.
You and Gary got married? You were way ahead of your time.
Me and my lovely.
I was going to say, you're way. Did you hear that? What? Is he still here? Yeah, they got married. I didn't know that. You were way ahead of your time. But go ahead. Hey, doesn't make you a bad person.
My lovely wife, Susan, she was just like, first of all, she wasn't a morning person. Someday I'll tell you what I did to her in the morning.
Okay.
And we would listen to one of the radio stations that was in the area, but it was kind of different. And I noticed that the longer I was married, the more the radio stations kept changing. And my wife, she's a TV person. I can listen to the radio all the time. But anyways, the radio changed and we were watching more TV. And here's what I get. There was a mugging in Newcastle, reporting from Newcastle. And the guy would be standing here, but the mugging he was talking about happened in Wayne Township or Portersville.
Yeah.
So you drove your truck all the way here to tell me something that happened over there. And something happened in Ohio, and they go, reporting from Newcastle. Well, the people in Pittsburgh that I knew got the idea that, hey, this is a pretty dangerous place. I was letting it go. And the year before Newcastle won the state title, one of the players that I had, because I substitute teach, we were playing Erie Cathedral Prep, and the fans from the opposing team, it was a heck of a storm to get up there. One of the kids pulled down his pants, was just wearing a G-string.
Oh, man.
And they were yelling, get a job, get your green card. And, a lot of the students weren't even there yet. And I'm listening to this, and I'm saying, wow, this is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, Newcastle was ahead. They were going to win the game. There was seconds left, and, kid acted like he was going for the ball, and boom, he hit the kid, knocked him down. Kid didn't get up, didn't fight. He just got up and walked to the foul line, went and shot his foul shots. And I said, this is going to change. I got in the car, And my wife knows I'm a little nuts.
A little nuts, okay. A little nuts, all right.
First thing I did was came home and, yeah, if you're a bishop out there, you've heard from me. And so did the bishop in Erie. I called him. And he didn't return my call and didn't return my call, and then he returned my call. And I told him that people at Erie Cathedral Prep should know a little bit more about Newcastle. Like the leading cancer researcher,
Well, Slavin.
Slavin, he's from Newcastle.
Right.
Okay. One of the most famous restaurants in Hollywood, the guy was from Newcastle. You know, and what they are thinking about Newcastle really isn't true. We really don't have a large Latino population.
Right.
Nothing against Latinos, but most of the people here are Italian.
Right.
You know, so you start to have to think that something was wrong. So that was on a Saturday, and I made those calls throughout the week. But when I went to school on that Monday after that Saturday, I said to my friends at Newcastle, fellow teachers, I had a notebook, and they said, what are you doing with the notebook? You're a substitute teacher, you got a notebook. I says, well, I'm starting a TV station.
Wow.
They said, what, really? I did all the research in the month of April, and we were test broadcasting. If you go on YouTube, you see some of those old
Insane.
first broadcasts.
Yeah.
Community Happenings was the first show.
Yeah.
And we talk about New Visions. Joe Seminara said, we're having a New Visions meeting. Why don't you come? So I said, I'm starting a little thing here, and you're going to enjoy it. And then I just kept building. I started with $8.
Wow.
And now when you Google Media Newcastle, Pennsylvania, we're right at the top of the list.
That's fantastic.
And
Has it been a huge struggle? I mean, a lot of obstacles along the way, like that in any business, where you're going to have hurdles and obstacles.
Well, we've had a lot of different things, like when somebody puts out something that's totally false.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have to explain to people why it's totally false. I'm in school one day, and the kids come up to me, Mr. Parada, they're saying we live in the worst city in Pennsylvania. That we're the third worst city in Pennsylvania. I said, who's saying? Oh, they're saying it on Facebook. So I get out of school, and I'm coming down, and I'm thinking, everybody, it's like the Batman signal went up in the air, like, fight this.
Right.
And the kids know. I get a lot of respect from the kids at Newcastle. All these kids are so bad. No, that's a bunch of hogwash. So, you know what a furry is?
No, I don't even know what a hogwash is.
Okay.
Okay, but go ahead.
So I come down, and there's a furry standing out there.
A furry.
A furry. And that's people that they spend a lot of money on these costumes and dress up like in these different costumes. And so my kids went running up to the furry right away.
Yeah.
And the furry was one of the persons that volunteered here. And I said to her, have you heard anything about this story? Oh, yeah, Mr. Parada, here, I'll write this down for you. She gave me the information.
And that was the furry person.
That was a furry
So
person.
you actually spoke to a furry person, and she gave you information.
So I came in here with the number, and it was Home Security Shield. It was like this security company in Florida. They were trying to sell security. So I called them, and I said, I have this security stuff, and I have property. I says, and I'm worried. I says, I'd like a thing. Well, you're in the third worst city in the state. I says, you know, I said, I have property in Clarion. Where do they rate? You know, because I'm pretty wealthy.
Right.
Oh, well, we don't know. Well, and then I started probing, and they knew they were caught.
Right.
And I said, you're not what you claim to be at all. You made this up.
Right.
And I just blew it right up. We were actually the first station media to break the story. The credit to the Beaver County Times. They were also on top of it
Good.
because they named Ambridge. And also Representative Massey down in Ambridge. He was,
Perfect.
yeah.
Almost time to wrap it
Well,
up. Go ahead.
And he broke the story. And that's why if you go back and watch Newswatch, I interview people in the streets. Are you up for a mugging today? Are you the mugger or the muggee?
Yeah.
Because you could see it's a great place. And
Yeah.
I call it the greatest castle in the world because we got a lot of great things that other people don't have.
Yeah.
So something to think about, and I don't want to bore you on this.
No, you're not.
Middle
You know,
of the week.
I was interested because I think people need to know how this whole thing originated. And I think they need to know, too, I'm going to be serious for a second, your commitment to making this right and to promote the city and the people in the city and the surrounding communities. Again, like you said, we have so much to offer. And I think what you're doing really promotes that, really supports that. So, you know, my hat's off. I don't wear a hat, but if I had one, I'd take my hat off to you.
And my key word to everybody is this: participation.
Right,
If you can get it in Newcastle, buy it in Newcastle.
right,
Let's say it's $3 more. By the time you drive out of Newcastle and buy it $3 cheaper and drive back in, you spend $6.
right, right.
Okay? It's just a fact. And, you know, so I stand by Lawrence County and Newcastle, and there's a lot of faithful viewers, and they tell me when I'm out getting something to eat or I'm on the street, you know, about it. And I thank them. As now it looks like it's time to wrap it up.
It is, and we thank you once again, Angela. Thanks for all the information.
Thank you.
Here,
Boom.
okay,
Boom.
a little fist blast, but you know, we're not going to go. No, we're not gonna do that. Hey, come back and see us again for another episode. We appreciate it. Thank you very, very much.
Have a great day, everybody.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way.